Hello again, most excellent time traveller. Welcome back to the Nightwolf Den, and welcome back to my time loop of the 1980s. Somehow you've connected in whatever futuristic things and buttons you press in the future. And I have here with me today some amazing 80s stuff to share with you. So let's get rad. Now, the first couple of things I picked up, which I think are mega cool, and this is very random to find at a car boot sale, is, well, I guess you find lots of great things at car boot sales here in the 80s. But in 1986, right now, I picked up, can you see? Two Bruce Lee action shots, which I thought were mega cool and will be most excellent in my Kung Fu gym, my dojo, my gym and dojo. So they are absolutely most excellent. And of course, Bruce Lee created Jeet Kune Do, which is a kind of hybrid of different martial arts and boxing. And if you've been living in the cave for the last number of years, Bruce Lee absolutely exploded in the 1970s with some massive movies. And of course, his first major starring role was the 1971 absolute mega film, The Big Boss, which was set in Thailand, and of course that led him to becoming the iconic movie star that he is. And then all of the other films that came after it, like Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and of course Game of Death, which was after he passed away in 1973. And with how Bruce has really inspired so many different people to do martial arts and be involved in martial arts is absolutely fantastic. So having those pictures is spot on in my martial arts gym. Originally, when growing up, those Bruce Lee films were quite a myth to me, because I knew they were highly thought of, because you'd hear the name Bruce Lee various places, on the TV, from friends, from older people. So for me, being really young, because the age rating was so high, I never had access to it. It was always a kind of myth to see a Bruce Lee film. And obviously, as I got older, I did end up watching them, and they're fantastic films. But there was once I went round to a friend's house. We were only young, maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 perhaps, and he had the Bruce Lee films. So we watched, I can't remember how many we watched maybe 1 or 2 films, and then we immediately went upstairs in this huge attic, all done out at the top of the house, and we were just immediately just kicking lumps out of each other, doing martial arts to mimic Bruce Lee. Nothing really, it was friendly amongst friends, but those films were just inspiring. As soon as you would watch them, were just inspiring, no matter probably what age you were, and just showcasing martial arts for what they were at an early age. So those frames are excellent, and they'll be most excellent on the wall of the gym for some inspiration. And another pickup I got, randomly frames again. I picked up a really cool bunch of frames, which I decided to put in Rambo, First Blood, if you could see that. And although it flopped on my previous time loop, and when I was prior to the time loop even starting, it kind of flopped. But it's still most excellent because it is Masters of the Universe, Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. So they are absolutely housed nicely in these two new frames. Ironically, there were new frames in a charity shop, but why not? Just pick them up. And I usually pick them up and save them for when I need them. So we've got Masters of the Universe, so I have to try and find a place for them. And yeah, First Blood. So Masters of the Universe, when that comes out in '87, so that comes out next year, but obviously prior to my time loop even started, I remember when this one came out. And there was so much excitement, and although it didn't do well at the cinema, once it starts coming out on the video, people start really enjoying it. And I'm hoping that in the future, in your timeline, that it is still well thought of and loved. And actually, Frank Langella has said that it was so fun to play Skeletor. It is up to now, here in the 80s, and I remember just into the 90s, that it was said that it was his favourite part to play was Skeletor, which is really cool because of how cool He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is. And of course you can't go wrong with Rambo, or John Rambo, first being released in 1982, and it is absolutely always amazing. And of course John Rambo was a Vietnam vet who was put in a bit of conflict by a small town sheriff, and then somehow it spirals out of control when he could have just they should have just let him stay, and it would have solved a lot of issues there. But such a great film, and happily housed in my charity shop frame to add to the posters that are already around in frames. Ferrari, Terminator, there's Robocop, it's Porsches, Lamborghinis, just most excellent things from here in the 1980s. So they are two very good finds. And yeah, anytime I see any frames pop up, I usually just snap them up, make sure they're in good condition, or ideally brand new, but in charity shops, so I'm just reusing them, which I think is really good and important, so everyone's not just buying brand new things all the time. Where possible, try and reuse different things. So yeah, they're great purchases. Now, another cool thing I picked up this week, which you can't go wrong with, VHS Invasion USA, with the man, the myth, the legend of Chuck Norris. Now, I think I've seen this one, but I can't quite remember. So this is going to be my viewing for tonight. And of course, Chuck in this one is basically a one-man army against terrorists who are invading Florida. How can you defend a country invaded and organised by terrorists who strike ruthlessly, mercilessly, and then vanish into nowhere? You send the toughest, fastest and most cunning man you've got and pray that he's good enough. It could never happen. Or could it? That was a synopsis on the back of the video, of course. I wasn't just reading it. Chuck Norris, absolute legend. And this came out last year in 1985. And what makes this even better is that Chuck Norris and his brother Aaron actually wrote this film. So not only do you have Chuck in it doing amazing things, you have Chuck writing it to create those amazing things, which he's amazing in, which is most excellent. So this is going to be my watch for tonight Invasion USA. And a long list of videos that Chuck's done, which are most excellent. Everyone loves Chuck Norris. And I'm sure he's done a lot more in the future in your timeline. And now, I picked this baby up from a car boot sale, nonetheless. This is the Saisho Portable Component System PM51P. What a delight this is. What a delight. Now I've cleaned it up, because again, it was from Car Boot. It's got detachable speakers. This came out last year in the year 1985. It's got your radio on there. You can choose disc, tape, medium wave, FM stereo. Aerial works really well. Such a nice looking boombox. And with this Saisho, so if you don't know, if you're not from the UK, if your timeline is elsewhere in the world or whatever year, these Saisho ones you could buy in, or you can buy here in 1986 in the 80s, in a place called Dixon's in the UK. And it's not like a Sony brand or a Panasonic, like kind of top end brands. It's kind of a budget brand because it's only sold in Dixon's, but it doesn't matter because Dixon's is a kind of reputable hi-fi electronics store here in the 80s. So if you want a microphone, if you want whatever, you would go to Dixon's. So these were really popular over the years, as they are now. Do you take these off, these little plastic covers? Some people like to leave them on. I guess this person's left them on. Well, I'll probably take it off. That's kind of what I do. Sometimes I leave it on, but other times I kind of take it off. But you kind of want to leave it on so it's always new. But I think I've got it here. So my actual microphone that I use to talk to you with, that's Dixon's, you see? So they do things like this, dynamic microphones, lots of electronic things. So Saisho is their brand, but you can get really cool ones. So behind, let's see, I've also got one which has a really cool TV screen in. So you can play cassettes and watch various things. It's black and white, but you can watch TV on there as well, which is really cool. You can put your Atari into it and things like this. So these speakers come off. I think I can plug external things in. You can put mic in, so you can use it for karaoke if you like those type of things. I haven't actually tested it, but I have got a plug for it. So I'm going to test it now. We needed that adapter. That plug end. So I'm going to give it a shot while I'm showing it to you. Here we go. So it's plugged in. Let's test. I don't think there's a way of turning it on. I think it's just automatically on. So I can't see a power on switch. So let's see. Well, that's a good sign. Forward and reverse work. So we need tape. So we'll use the Nightwolf 1981. And of course you can get this tape in your timeline. Is it going that way? No, it goes in that way. I was always used to, when I was growing up, tapes going in that way, because that's what we had. But some of them, like friends seem to have them, where they go in upside down. Don't know why that is. Obviously it's where the component thing is, or the mechanism. So let's see. Well, forward works, that's a good sign. Oh, that's very good. Where's the volume? Oh, volume's on high, that's why. Well, it's playing my track, so that's good. Bit of compressed air in that should fix that. Oh, that sounds... Oh, that one's not on. How cool is that, by the way? That speaker's not on. Oh well, there's one speaker on. Auto level indicator. Okay, that's not really... A bit of an equalizer on there. There's no slowdown or anything, so that is very good. I might have to try and see if I can get this speaker working. I don't know if it's blown or the connection seems to be in. And the wire's there, so should work. Maybe it's gone off, I don't know. Let's try again. No, it's off. That's a shame. But that one still works, so I can get some sound out of it. Of course, the radio will still work. I mean, how cool is that, walking down the street with that on your shoulder? I'll probably eat through batteries very quickly. Two-way speaker, well, one-way speaker for this. But yeah, the Saisho, and the whole point of the Saishos is to have value, so it's not high-end speakers or boomboxes where it's overpriced and you're just going off the brand name, which does add its level of quality as well, I guess. But it's all about high value, so you get a similar quality sound as this is here in the 80s, but at a much more valuable price, which is really cool, which is why it is obviously still desirable as for, I don't know, youth, teens, adults, youngsters who are liking the tunes. A really good find, and I'll try and get this speaker working. Might just be a loose connection. Tape run there, just reset that. Really, I mean, look at the design on that. That is absolute 80s. That it's absolute 80s, which is tremendous. Looks class. I'm not sure which batteries it takes. Let's have a look. These are going to be mega. These. Oh dear. 6 D-size batteries. So they're like the big mega chunky round ones. You need 6 of them, it says. I guess with this, you could probably put the speakers, it might just be this speaker that's off, so really you could, because this is a hybrid, you could probably output, instead of the speakers going to these speakers, they could probably be output to you know, to another speaker system, so you could ditch them. Although I do like it as the boombox, you could probably take that out, ditch that, or replace something. And there's the speakers. Sorry, the battery cover for those 6 mega batteries, and I don't know how long they'll last, probably a few hours maybe. But still, one speaker works. So it's not too bad, and the sound sounds pretty cool out of it. And of course you can tweak it to your heart's desire with the old graphic equalizer. So yes, a most excellent find, I reckon, and one to be added to the list of boomboxes. And I've got another boombox to show you as well, but that's on the next little broadcast through the transmissions. I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of some of the things I've been picking up recently. And next time there'll be another boombox, and I've got some other cool, most excellent things from here in the 1980s to show you. So if you like the tunes, add them to your playlist, however you do that in the future, and stay around, future dude.